I'm happy if I'm in the water every day. It's really about being part of something that's much, much bigger than ourselves. Surfing for me is inspiration for the work that we do. Hey, it's Tracy. I got your message. My name is Tracy Skrabal. So what you got going on? I am a scientist with the North Carolina Coastal Federation. I know it has to do with your work in Brunswick County and some stormwater. I'm a mom and hopefully a good friend to some. Okay. So what I thought would be a lot of fun, I think we'll go out and see some of the projects that we've done.
So this area is pretty much a classic urbanized barrier island, and the wetlands that once fringed these areas pretty much have eroded away.
I am an optimist by nature. That said, we are working on coastal protection in a very challenging time. The local rise in sea level in my community, New Hanover County, has doubled in the last 15 years over the previous 50 years.
Since 2013, the rate has really taken off. And if you look at local tide gauge data for the next 30 years, it's close to half a foot.
There have always been hurricanes, but what used to be called a 100-year event is now something we might see every few years.
If you drove down the road, you saw people's belongings all up and down the street. And that's true up and down all of our barrier islands.
And really, I think the urgency of the situation on our local coastal region has really been a factor in how I approach my work.
There's no question, it's not a matter of if, it's how much and what are we going to do about it. So we are standing in the front of Bradley Creek Elementary School in New Hanover County.
One of our favorite projects is Bradley Creek Elementary. We partnered with them to see if we could take all the stormwater, put it into the ground into a series of stormwater wetlands, large rain gardens, rather than it going into the drains and out into the headwaters of Bradley Creek.
If you walk in there right now, you'll get your feet wet, but you won't get your feet wet in the parking lot where they used to have flooding and the teachers had to take their shoes off to get out of their cars to get to school.
Airlie Gardens experienced some erosion from boat wakes, so we partnered to construct basically an oyster reef along the eroding edge of their coastal marsh.
If you could see below the water here, you would see a really healthy fringe of natural oyster reefs.
Living shorelines really allow you to preserve what we call the sacred cow of the estuaries, and that is the coastal marshes, which is so critical for water quality, for habitat. And what we're learning is that they sequester huge amounts of carbon.
So we need to do everything we can to protect these natural areas. They're going to be the best chance of mitigating climate change that we have.
I've always been dedicated to protecting this beautiful resource that we have. But for me, being out there reminds me that this is not given.
When I come out here, I see that nature is miraculous and gives us many tools to adapt.
About 15 years ago, I became a cancer survivor. And when you've been given a second chance, things that are small that don't matter fall away, and things like being passionate about protecting the environment are inspiring every day.
So being out here really inspires me and gives me a lot of energy to do what I can working with these communities to help them get ready.
You know, this is not guaranteed.
Such a cool place.
For our children and for our children's children.
Beautiful.
We all have to do something to pay it forward. We have to do our part to protect it.